Okay. My name is Dave Sasi Kumar, and here are my answers. For the first question, the CEBL, I would say it's in the commercial stage because they're expanding their market presence. And for the PWHL, I would say they're in the pioneering stage because they're relatively a new league trying to establish themselves. And the Canadian Premier League, I would say they're in the media stage, just trying to grow the audience and telecast games in like a wider range. Um, for the second question, managing a fishbowl. The difficulties in managing a fishbowl are, in my opinion, transparency, because managers obviously have to maintain a certain level of transparency when it comes to like player transfers and dealing with stuff like that, high public scrutiny. Um, they often get a lot of scrutiny from the public and media for some decisions they may make, which could result in the club going in a different direction than like people intended it to. Public expectations. The public always has certain expectations for the managers and players, and the managers always trying to reach that. So there's always the pressure for that. Um, Athletes as business assets. So asset management. So treating athletes as an asset and caring for their health and well-being can be pretty difficult at times because you have to look after so many people, and that as well. And contract negotiations is another part of this as well. Like, it's difficult when you have to talk to people about contracting. They need a certain amount of money. Like, you may not be able to give that much amount of money because you have to think about the profits of the organization as well. So there's difficulties in dealing with that to come to like a mutual agreement. And market value fluctuations. Obviously a player, like, they have certain market values in certain points of their career, and you have to deal with the fluctuations and stuff. So if you need to like trade or like giving more money or less money, you have to deal with that as well. And that can be often difficult at times too, because some people think they deserve more money than they get, and their trade values more than what they are. Stuff like that can be difficult as well. And sport and entertainment cocktail. The big part with this is, I would say, just a difficulty will be a fan engagement, because a sport wouldn't be really as fun if there isn't as much fan engagement, because obviously fans are what provide the revenue for the game and for the athletes and for the business. And there needs to be more engaging ways for the fans to be out there and like do things like maybe like fantasy drafts or things like that. There are definitely other ways people could involve in the sport as well, and just see the fan engagement, and without being able to compromise the sport. The revenue streams, they have to balance the revenue streams between like the sport and entertainment activities. This can be often difficult at times because you have to manage contracts, you have to the equipment, staff, everything, and it can be very difficult. But these are the things that you have to deal with as a sport manager. And I would say for the third question, as a sport manager, I would use it for recruitment. So I would say volunteering is a huge part of sports in general, because there are paid people, which there can be technically like a certain amount, volunteers such as like interns and just people coming to volunteer and giving back to the community. That's a huge thing in itself. So providing training and support for the volunteers would be a big thing. Recognition programs for volunteers, like like giving awards and seeing that, like making them sure that their effort matters. Um, Regular feedback, so like often like their words are sometimes unheard in like industries and stuff, but like you need to make sure their voices are heard too, so it's like a equal like giving and taking, so everything is good. And making sure their feedback is valued and you give them feedback for so they can be better in the future as well if they go venture into different aspects of sports. um, and for question for the Olympic Games, I would say the Olympic Games, like the political influence would be like highlighting national success, because like they're trying to boost the nation's pride and the people's pride of the nation. The storytelling, showcasing the athlete's journey with like nationalistic themes, and selective coverage, like during like the Olympics and stuff. There's selective coverage. Obviously, there would probably show more, like more of the sports that the home team is like the home national team is doing good in, and they might dim down the other ones, downplay the other events, and just show more of that. Um, for question 5, the club I chose is FC Barcelona. Like it's valuable. The FC Barcelona, they have a strong history in football and a successful like camp. Rare, like their club's rare. The 4 things are valuable, rare. The club's long history of like fans and just the long history in itself is a rare asset to have. Inimitable. Their unique style of play, like I think it's called tiki taka. Like it's very hard to replicate, because like those guys, they usually come to the camp, they usually train from a very young age in that style of play, and they get built their way up through that club rather than most people just switching and transferring through clubs. Barcelona, that's the thing that you have to give them credit for. They develop a lot of their talent. People like Messi, like he was built through that camp and came up through that. And finding such talent like that is like it's just amazing. Um, Organized, they have a very well organized structure management and training program and system. And the role of human resources, talent development, like I said previously, like managing people like Messi, Suarez, like Messi came through the camp system and obviously made it as one of not the greatest player of all time. Just finding talent like that is amazing, because like a lot of clubs, they just buy players and it's really hard to find talent. Um, Employer satisfaction, they have to make sure the well-being of staff and the others. And strategic alignment, they have to align the practices and club goals to maintain competitive edge, to make sure that they're doing fine, and just make sure they staying on top of the things and the club can be at the best shape possible, so they can win tournaments and obviously generate more revenue from winning. And yep. Well, that's all my answers. Thank you. Have a great day.